Speaking of the Matrix,
being a badass. Yeah.
Andrew Tate has been arrested again. Did you see all that?
I haven't followed too much of it.
Really?
But I've taken a glimpse.
Large majority, maybe not majority, but a large contingent of his followers have turned completely against him.
Because everyone, like Jordan Peterson and stuff.
He's been against him for a while. Like just a lot of people.
What's going on?
I'm like, but the videos were always out there, but people are rewatching the video.
Oh, it's the whole TikTok thing. It's like, I guess he wasn't just helping TikTok girls set up TikTok. Like, so you
Every
get the
single
app.
bongo got extorted. It's like he has said it from day one that he is a full human trafficker, sex trafficker. He's never who sells courses on it, how to manipulate.
Yeah. Him talking about the video that Jordan Peterson posted, he probably posted like 1,000 times, but I was sitting in bed.
By himself with like the opposite, be like real top G.
But just listening to him talk, I'm like, yeah, he said all that. I knew all that. It's insane.
Yeah.
When I first heard of him, I was like, this is the craziest man I've ever heard of in my entire life. This is like an actual criminal. Yeah. This is like a legitimate sociopath criminal.
Criminal evil.
It's like, do you feel bad about the guys? No,
Super
of course
villain.
not. It is insane.
Their cars, house, mortgage, all to me, every bit.
He must have no soul.
Yeah.
He literally must have no soul. But he doesn't have a soul.
Yeah.
Like, just the interview where he talked about like his mother getting beaten up and be like, yeah, she deserved it. Just legitimately, he's messed up.
Yeah.
He's actually messed up. He's very entertaining. Yeah. He's a very entertaining character. Because I think he may have, I don't know if it's multiple personality disorder or
something
just
along
like,
those lines.
I think he has a severe personality disorder.
Yeah.
Legitimately. To the point where he can be the worst person on earth. And then like Mo Vlogs comes to his place. He's like, hey, how you going, man? How you going? Andrew, good to meet you. Oh, I heard you getting ready for that fight. You're going to kill him, man. You're going to kill him. I got 2 daughters. They're great. Where he is 2 different people.
Yeah.
And he'll admit he turns it on for the camera. But the fact he can turn it on so, I don't even know. It's too believable.
Yeah.
It's like Sacha Baron Cohen can do a good character, which is when I started watching his videos, I was like, oh, this is a character. This is so funny.
Yeah.
I like this guy. This guy's hilarious. And then it just keeps on going. It stretches a little bit too far.
And then the brother's the same.
Yeah.
The friends are all the same.
And it's like, I think Andrew's the one guy who can really turn it off.
Yeah.
He can really turn it off and be like, oh, it's just a funny joke. You know that. Anyway, how are you going? How are your kids? How are your family? It's so funny watching him do that. Watching him turn into the nicest guy who everyone's like, it's so weird, guys. You meet Andrew Tate in person, he's so nice. He's a nice, he cares about your family.
Happen? Do you think he'll go to get locked up?
Probably not. Because I think it would have happened by now. I think all the girls that are involved in this stuff, he literally has under mind control.
No, but there's so many new ones.
Oh, new ones.
Like 60.
New girls.
And ones that he never even worked for, who he just messaged that were underage and stuff.
Oh, really?
Have all come onto the case.
Interesting.
So I guess that would be attempted procuring of a minor for whatever.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I don't know if it's
a big crime.
Yeah, I don't know if there will be enough evidence.
I think it's like Instagram messages.
Yeah, I don't know if that would be enough evidence, though.
I think it's like, well, it wasn't just one girl. We have 20, and you sent the exact same message, and these 2 worked for you, and we have like the whole thing that you weren't just messaging these for. Yeah. Like, I feel like there would be enough evidence.
think he can say that,
we know you sold a course on how to do it. We have this.
It's hard to get people in law. It's hard to kind of actually have something stick. It has to be the worst thing on earth. It's the same idea, like, stalkers just will never, ever get caught or prosecuted. Yeah. You can turn up to a girl's house 365 days.
But I think they have ones who have, like, came out for SA and kidnapping and everything. Not just accusations.
Really?
And taking of passports and falsifying of payments to them and blah, blah, blah.
That's an interesting
one. I think he's...
Should we look into it?
I don't think there's much out
There's not
at the
much.
moment.
Yeah, right.
But it's pretty done. Like, it's...
I don't know. He seems
Nelka gonna delete their podcast.
What do you mean? Oh, yeah,
He's gonna get done for, like, child sex trafficking of a minor.
Yeah.
And pedophilia. Like, it would be nuts.
It's tough because he is falling under, like, this character thing. It's like, it's a joke. It's, like, exaggerated.
But I feel like that's the whole Muslim thing as well for, like, shield in a way where it's like some of those countries where you can marry a 15-year-old and it's socially acceptable. And for that large contingent, it's like, well, it's not.
So funny,
we have no issue with it.
Yeah. The Muslim move, like just in a game of chess.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, how? And then it just makes sense in the grand scheme of things. You're like,
he's a chess grandmaster. The full circle.
I become Muslim.
What?
Why has he made that move? Like,
Satoraka's like, great move, brother. Excellent move, brother.
Always knew it was going to be time eventually, brother. We all eventually end up
in our robes in Dubai, brother. It's lovely here. It's very hot, but we have great air conditioners, fake pools, fake oceans.
But there is something, it's so funny, just the moves he makes. And I think he is...
And the fact he launched his crypto coin.
When?
When he was, I don't know, like a month ago, and he was always the hardest anti-crypto guy.
Oh,
like
really?
Crypto scams more.
Yep.
Of celebrities like him launching a coin under their name.
Right. But you can see it's like a tax evasion thing. It's a way to kind of keep your money.
Pump and dump.
Right.
It's just like, he's just a scammer. He was always just a scammer. Everything was a scam the whole time.
Yeah.
And he would say it to people. That's where it almost is the funniest thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like, if you're dumb enough to buy some idiot's course online, that's your fault.
But it's
But
only
you got to join the real world, $50. You know, he'll say it to your face and then sell it to you, and you'll still buy it. He'll be laughing. Like, these idiots. Like, I literally tell them to avoid it and then promote it and they buy it. It's like,
that is funny.
It's insane. You almost have to respect that in a slight way where it's like...
It is only $50, so... So I bought it.
Some unis are $20,000 a year.
It's a great selling point. It's really a good... Not even that. It's tricky because it is nothing.
Yeah.
You're not getting scammed if you fall victim for like $50. Or is that a scam? Scam if you do it on a large scale.
Scam.
How about everyone just gives me $1?
And I have $1 billion.
See how it works? It is. Yeah, I don't know. He just seems to keep getting out of it.
Yeah.
I think he has... Yeah, like that Muslim move I didn't even think about is genius. I think he's got the whole Muslim world... maybe that whole London thing wasn't good. That was a whore move. Unless that was trying to get the Trump guys back.
Yeah.
Or the I don't even know what guys. They hate him.
Yeah.
They hate him, the Tommy Robinson guys. Yeah. Literally all over Twitter. When it's like Andrew Tate's doing this, and the meme will be like, stay away from the N-word.
Yeah.
Literally, that's all you would see. And you realize if you do join that team, they don't like you.
I saw a Twitter space someone posted, and they're all Aussies.
Right.
And they're talking about Myron.
Oh.
And they're like, you know, even though these guys are base, we got to remember, they're not one of us.
Yeah.
These are like dumb N-words. Like, you know, don't fall for their traps. You know, they say some things that are base, but just remember.
That's so funny. It's so sad as well.
Yeah.
It's like there's the Trump guy on the plane. You know this isn't your team. This literally isn't your team, no matter how much you want it to be. There is a line. There is the line with the Nick Fuentes.
Yeah.
There is a line
more
with
Nick
all
Fuentes
these...
than Trump, I guess.
Oh, yeah, maybe not the Trump guy. I probably use the Trump guys, but I think more the anti-immigration guys.
Yeah.
Don't become extremely anti-immigration if you are an immigrant yourself or do have parents who were immigrants at some point from places outside of England, outside of Western Europe.
Yeah.
Because they'll always come back around and be like, I don't know how Nick Fuentes is getting away with it.
being Mexican.
Yeah. He'll eventually be.
That's where it gets crazy.
Gavin McGuinness has the funniest thing. I think, who is it? I think it's, who is it? One of these Indian guys who's extremely anti-immigration.
Yeah.
And I can't remember his name.
From England? Like some talk
I think maybe a Canadian or an England guy. I've completely forgotten his name. But he makes the joke, he's like, you think this guy at the end's just going to be hopping on a plane back to India with the rest of the immigrants, be like, the job was done, guys. See you guys. Have a good life. Yeah. That's how it's going to...
I'm going back.
Yeah, I'm going back with
Hey, hold up.
But that's kind of how it has to be. You're not going to be sticking around.
Yeah.
You're going to have to be hopping on the boat back with them and be like, guys, have a great life. I got rid of all of us. Let's go.
What's going to bring the world together?
I'm seeing a lot of stuff that is bringing the world that I think could
I
bring
don't
the
know.
world together.
And no side's right at the moment. Every side's just broken.
What I'm seeing is a lot of the strides made in ancestry.
Yeah.
History on Earth. That's my thing that I've been writing a lot lately. Just seeing how we all literally come from the same person.
Right.
The history of the world.
So going deeper into our ancestry.
Going deeper.
Rather than avoiding it, we actually need to get
to go
the surface.
Deeper.
Yeah. I like that.
That's what I've really been finding that, and it's so funny even seeing the comment sections. It's almost like a whole bunch of people are being like red-pilled in a sort of way. And it's like, oh, so Africa isn't that bad?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, so we're all from the same person? And it's just, you see a lot of people who be like, I ain't from Africa.
Yeah.
And they're trying to find like excuses, and it's like, no, but these people were settled in Europe for this long. They're very different. And people are like, no. If you watch the video, it actually says otherwise. Yeah. And it's a very real realization. Where it's like, we all come from the same person. We all come from literally one person, the mitochondrial Eve, who is in East Africa, who every single human on Earth shares DNA with. One woman.
Yeah.
One single woman. And I think it's like 200,000 years ago.
Was one of the first humans.
Yes, one of the first humans. And then even in a weirder way, like our species, the Homo sapien.
Yeah.
Where we kind of belong to, let's say you try this angle of like, we're Homo sapiens, the Homo erectus, the different humans that were out there. We were separate to them. We were separate to the Neanderthals. But then even that becomes blurred because they were all mixing.
Yeah.
And we are kind of a mix of all of these people.
Is humans are too competitive and want an enemy? And common enemies bring people together?
Maybe. Because it is this, we are literally the same person.
Yeah.
We even all the way back like 2 million years ago, longer than that, we were all mixing.
But there is the thing, the cultures are so drastically different.
That's true.
You can go to India. You could go to India, to China.
Yeah.
Completely different.
But
to the beaches of Nara.
Yeah.
Down there.
Yeah. But they're all the same. Literally. They are all the same.
In what way?
You're going to come across the same person. They may have different traditions and stuff like that.
They have different bone
the
structures and different interests and different...
But they're all the same bloke.
They're all the same bloke.
They're literally all the same bloke.
In what way?
It's just the exact same human.
It's the same soul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what's happening with YouTube.
It's the same consciousness.
Yeah, it's the same person, the same dude.
It's the same
You will have a loser. You'll have like a loser. There's going to be a loser in every single culture in the world, and there's going to be like a jock dude. Yeah. There's going to be a dude you can actually have a chill conversation with who may come from a crazy place. And he's like, yeah, it's a bit messed up, man, but yeah, we're trying to da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
I'm like you. You can talk to me. I'm not going to be some weird spun out person.
Wouldn't like the old school thing of religion starts all wars. That if people believe in a God that created them, and they believe that, and then you spit on that God,
Oh yeah. Also,
It's like how could that ever come together?
the Abrahamic religions were introduced to keep people under control.
Yeah.
Those religions in particular were to stop people from being all crazy. I think there's going to be a lot of mayhem, potentially, if you abolished all those Abrahamic religions. But
you
people
have
would kind of get along.
Buddhism,
Yeah.
or Hinduism, sorry.
Yeah.
Is like the whole caste system in India is
Yeah.
based on Hinduism.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's almost like one of the worst ones.
That
where
is
you
probably one of the
literally-
worst ones, yeah.
And
you
it's like
go
the
into-
untouchables.
Yeah.
Because no part of the Hindu god has a link to the untouchables. That's why they're so ungodly.
Yeah.
And then just nothing.
Yeah, that's true. No, I like it. I'm going into... I watched a huge thing on the caste. I'm obsessed with the caste
It's
system
insane.
in India. It's the most
It's
insane
one of the craziest. I remember learning
in
about it in
history.
school,
Yeah.
forgetting it, and then literally just recently I was like, whoa, I remember that now.
Yeah.
It's one of the craziest things in the world.
All the British who colonized India and took, I think they say, trillions or $1 trillion worth of resources for themselves.
Yeah.
They were still like, dude, this caste system's messed up. They were like, we got to stop this caste system.
Yeah.
We're going to take everything from you and make you so impoverished.
But it's like, that's messed up. As they're walking out. One last thing, though. This whole caste, you should unite to this. And maybe we wouldn't have been able to come and steal everything. But that could even be why they were so easily colonized. Because only one class were allowed to be soldiers.
Interesting.
And probably even in the face of complete annihilation, it's like, whoa, 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 don't touch me. But I know how to shoot. No. I literally would prefer to die. I'll let white man stab me in the heart than have an untouchable touch me. I'm literally going to bleed out.
What happens, though? What happens when I was looking into the caste system more and more? This is just throwing ideas out there. Everywhere has a caste system.
Yeah, but nowhere near, but yeah.
Everywhere has a caste system.
What's Australia's?
Cleaners. Sadly.
But you can rise up from it.
Still. I think most cleaners aren't rising up from it. People...
But most cleaners aren't born cleaners.
A lot are.
I think there'd be a relatively wide bracket.
I would say there are a lot of people that do really menial jobs. I'm just throwing ideas out there.
It's a good idea.
I'm throwing ideas
It's
out
a
there.
good idea.
But the percentage of it, I think what happens with capitalism, it sells you a dream. And I think that's exactly what happens in the caste system. It's like if you obey and you stick with your caste, then that's how it works. It's like if you don't question, don't try to live like another caste, you could potentially rise up a caste in the next life.
Is that what they say?
Yeah, that's what they say.
True.
There is a beauty to the caste system where it's like if you obey and you stick and you live a good life among your caste, don't try to do anything crazy.
You could be in the next
go
caste.
up in the next life. And in Hinduism, there's a real just knowledge of reincarnation. Yeah. It's not even like this weird thing like, I hope it happens. It's, well, we're all going to be around here for a while.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to live this life because in the next... and I mean one level. Them, yeah. They don't say you're going to go up to the top caste. You're just going to go up another level. And then maybe in like 10 years' time, or 10 lifetimes, you'll be at the top caste.
But it's such like mathematical insanity.
How?
Where it's like you can see how
capitalism is insanity.
but it's more open. You can see how
not really.
It is though. You could have a poor kid.
Yeah.
But if he's good at maths in school, the teachers will put him in the better class. He will get a scholarship to university. If he is, they're not going to be like, no, you're from this suburb, even though you're a genius.
Yeah.
We're not even we don't care.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you were a genius as an untouchable, you will not go to uni because you're the cleaner.
Yeah, yeah.
We don't care if you can invent planes
100%.
in the 1930s.
Yeah, yeah.
And make us one of the richest countries on earth.
Yes.
We don't care if you have all the military strategic potential.
Yeah.
You're an untouchable, you clean. This guy's literally disabled, but he's in that class, so he's going to run the military.
Yeah.
even though he has nothing going on up here. So that's just, it's like you're just going to fail.
Not necessarily.
Year after, like generation after generation, it's just going to be on a steady decline.
Not necessarily.
Because all your potential is being quashed. Where in any capitalistic country that you're talking about, no matter where you're from, you have the potential to shoot to the top.
Yeah. I think the same... it's just as impossible.
Destiny,
it's close to being as impossible.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Just saying,
you're not even making any logical sense.
How many of the untouchables do you think has like a super high IQ?
It would
like
be the
charts.
same proportion as anyone of any class.
And if you actually look into that, we're probably talking about like the 5 to 1%.
Just like any class.
That are a genius.
But, well, I'm not talking about geniuses, though.
No, you're kind of talking about geniuses.
I'm not.
And then also,
I'm not talking
we're talking,
about
okay,
genius.
there's the genius. There's the person who's extremely good at maths. There's also the person who's a really hard worker. And within that hard worker, only like a small percentage of the hard worker will make it through.
But you could have 20% untouchables who are just physically and mentally capable for the military.
Yeah.
And if they were to get into it, would advance the Indian military decades. But because they're there, they will never do it.
Right. I could see in terms
you would have
of,
another 20% of the untouchables who are English, who are literacy pioneers, not geniuses, just like highly
very small percentage.
Have a large, why a very small percentage?
Because if you just
what do you mean by that?
If
that
you have like 100 people in a room,
it's
and
not 100
like,
people.
Oh no, I'm just saying it. Just in terms of the average group of people,
We're
you're only going to have
about
like a small
tens of millions of people. There's billions of people in India.
Yeah.
We're talking about such a large proportion.
Yeah,
and you even.
But how's that going to be any better than what exists now?
Because the class you were in your class. You might be in the military division and the politics and whatever, but your potential is philosophy. But you're not allowed to do philosophy. Yeah. You have to be in the military.
Yeah.
You might have a guy up the very top in the philosophy who should be in the military, but you can't swap into the class.
Yeah.
Which is just like it's just such a decline of potential.
Yeah,
where you're just limiting everyone to what. There's just zero freedom to do what you want to do.
Yeah, 100%.
Or what you feel you would be good at.
Yeah, that's true.
And you can see why India aren't innovative, aren't progressing as a nation.
I think it's the number one place on earth that's
for innovation,
for innovation and progress. I think it's the one place on earth that's having like these insane jumps in just their GDP.
Really?
Or I think it's the most. It's the country on the rise more than anywhere else in the world. Literally.
You should go.
I think
it looks like one of the craziest places on earth.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen what's happening.
Yeah.
Or has been happening.
Right. What do you mean?
Just the
They didn't win any golds at the Olympics.
Yeah.
Because all like their star athletes are untouchables.
Untouchable.
Yeah.
It's like I literally run in 8 seconds. See the toilet? Clean.
We've got our cousin in the sporting class. He's good. He's about I have one leg. He's going.
You're going. You're gonna be great.
He's gonna be great. Told you should have that dude with the run 8 seconds. I think I got a bit lost there. My case was I got a bit lost. I'm trying to make a case for the caste system.
You're making a case. Trying to make a case for the caste system.
That'll be the name of the episode.
But making a case. My case for the caste system.
Yeah, my case for the caste system.
Never been to India. Hardly know the history. But my case on it.
This is a New York Times bestseller, A Case for the Caste System. I like it. I think it is. What I'm trying to do is just explore ideas.
I like it.
And of course I don't believe in it.
Yeah.
Of course I think it's insane.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to make a case for the caste system. And my main point was it's not that different than capitalism.
Yeah, and which
It's
you
not
do
that.
agree is so much
I think it's pretty good. But I think we have to recognize the similarities that exist.
on a tiny,
But
tiny
pretty
level.
close. I would say capitalism and then talk about the amount of people that critique capitalism.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? The people that want to overthrow the government, the state of the Western world, the average person who's like, capitalism sucks. Communism's failed like thousands of times, and people are still wanting to make a case that that's the right answer. The caste system isn't that far off, and I don't know if it has as much critique as capitalism within India. Do you know what? Just to be honest.
Yeah.
Just to be honest, I don't think there's that much of a critique because it works. Because if you stick to your role and live your whole life, you can go up. No, I'm just saying that exists.
Yeah.
You're not going to critique it because as soon as you critique it, you're not going up in the next lifetime.
Yeah.
Is that maybe the... I don't even know where we're going.
I don't even know.
I got a bit lost. I would say we were talking about people that are pretty much the same.
Yeah.
We're all kind of the same.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to explore.
Everyone's some dude.
I would say that the caste system exists in Australia.
I would say it definitely does not, and we are nowhere near it.
I'll say it 100% does. If you see a homeless person out on the street, the average person will be like, don't touch me. They're going to be like Spanian. Don't touch me. If you see like a person cleaning toilets who's like a supermodel, and you're like, what are you doing there? Or like a dude who's like a genius, but he's like cleaning toilets, you're going to be like, yeah, buddy, you got some good ideas. But that's crazy you're cleaning toilets, but yeah, get back to work. If you see someone who is kind of stuck in a bit of a...
If you were...
Yeah.
You ran a modeling agency.
Yes. I'm going to the cleaners.
So that is the proof instantaneously that we do not have a caste system. Because you can go get the cleaner and make him a supermodel.
Doesn't happen. It's not going to happen.
All the time.
It's not going to happen. All the models nowadays come from money. All of them. You're not going to...
in the modeling agency.
Or just if you look at
You've
any
got
of
the data and the You're just saying that. You have no idea.
I know.
You have no idea.
What I've seen
They're
is
like, no, 80% are actually cleaners that we usually pick up.
Most models nowadays have links to celebrities, of friends with celebrities. We're in circles within rich society. It's just true. It's true. They were hanging out at the right parties. That's the average model nowadays.
Okay.
And I think it has been for a long time. Modeling
I strongly disagree. But
it's just true. Because what happens...
It's literally just not true.
It's just 100% true.
It's definitely not.
We're just doing that. It is. No,
it
it's
is.
definitely
It's
not.
100%.
100,000,000% is. Most models come from money and can justify moving to Milan with the hopes of getting on some sort of a runway show for a year because their parents are going to pay for it and they're like, oh yeah, I'll figure something out. They're not just cleaning toilets and just some scout happens to be at an Anytime Fitness and is like, why are you here?
People cleaning toilets aren't
well off.
Aren't model looking people.
I think a lot of them are.
But the ones that would be.
Yeah.
But the ones that would be picked up. I guarantee you.
This is the thing. I think it's so rare. There are rare cases that these people who shouldn't be...
Wasn't there the mugshot guy that became a million?
He's like one in like a billion people. How many criminals do you know that are like supermodels?
But how many criminals look like supermodels? None.
A lot.
I don't think so.
A lot do. There are a lot of really attractive people that are never going to be picked for a modeling agency because they're not within that circle.
The whole like evolution of modeling agencies was they would scout young women in Eastern European countries that were poor because they had just that perfect...
Maybe for a time until it became out of trend and we realized, no... I'm not going to have Svetlana from Moldova. Yeah. I'm going to have Dasha, who's like my cousin's photographer's friend. She comes from money. Yeah, she's a photographer. She's her daughter's a model. Let's just throw her in.
Yeah.
We're friends. That's what I think happens nowadays. It's the caste system. Literally. There are certain jobs. We're gonna flick in a few every now and then to make it seem like it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
But I think for the most part, the caste system exists in Western society, and people are willing to just ignore it blatantly. When you're gonna see people who are begging, people who can't afford to survive.
How else is it?
Other ways,
I can
the rich are disgustingly rich, and they have thousands times more money than the poor, than the middle class.
Yeah.
The top is so far gone.
Yeah.
So far gone that it's terrifying.
Yeah.
I think that's another reason why we kind of live it like within a caste society.
It's getting to Elysium levels.
Yeah,
it's a bit of a part-time.
Yeah, the wealth
capitalistic
inequality
country.
is like laughable.
Yeah.
I think it's legitimately laughable. Which exists in the caste system.
Yeah.
And people aren't really going to question it because you're not in that caste. You can't, as like a middle class person, really go out there and question the upper class because they'll just stop you from being a middle class person, and you're not going to go up in the next life. Your kids don't have the opportunity to go up because they're going to close all the doors if you start to question it.
Yeah.
I think that's another reason why it's very similar.
I was watching, there's a new show, The Real Bondi Bros or whatever.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Bondi. I'll look it up. Bondi show.
Yeah.
And it's very funny. They are some of the most boring, uninteresting.
Well, the interesting ones are cleaners. The cleaning
Legitimately,
toilets.
did you watch Bondi, Byron Bay's?
No.
Bondi reality show.
I've worked, yeah.
Byron Bay's was really good because at least they were a bit like on their journey in Byron, even though they were still like affluent people. Mm. But some of them made in Bondi.
Made in Bondi.
Made in
show.
Bondi.
Okay.
Opening.
Yeah.
And this is where I was just like, I don't even get the angle.
Yeah.
Or who this is for.
Right.
But it's like two of the bros, young kids, they're like probably like 25, 26, 27, whatever. They're on a yacht on the harbour, just chilling, meeting for a beer.
Yeah.
On a mega yacht. Just it's like the craziest thing I've ever seen. It's like who relates to this? Who is this even for? I didn't even understand it. It just confused me.
To rub it in people's faces.
It was like they're on like $1 million yacht.
Yeah.
In the harbour, just chilling, like what people do in Bondi. Like, no one in Bondi is on a yacht. No one, even the richest people can't afford that.
They're all from Brazil and they're like doctors and they work like 20 hours a day.
Even the ones that have
to
10,
play
20
soccer
million,
on the
it's
weekend.
like don't have the money for like super yachts.
Yeah, of course.
To have in that, like, it was the craziest thing I've ever seen. It's hilarious.
That's being out of touch.
Yeah,
That's literally being out of touch with what's going on in the world, where it's like, this is how people in Bondi act, don't they? They'll hop on their super yacht.
Super yacht for a kombucha in the morning.
They don't have a breakdown after realizing how much fish bowl delivery was, and they're like, I literally can't afford food tomorrow. I've still got bills to pay. I'm trying to pay for this apartment. It's $1,000 a week.
Because it was kind of a good idea, but I just don't know how they chose these characters.
Right. I think it's good. It's the Paris
and
Hilton
they
thing.
don't even have Australian accents.
Oh, really?
They have like these transatlantic accents because they've traveled the world their whole lives. They don't even have an Australian accent. Because they have never spent a full year in Australia ever.
That's so funny.
Whereas like they spend the majority of the time in Europe.
Yeah.
Like they've never experienced a winter. Like quite obviously they don't know what winter is. And they're like, we met in what was
I actually would have
Albania.
This sounds great. Yeah.
It was so good. I'm gonna watch it.
I do want to watch that. That sounds funny. That literally sounds like a perfect show.
And they're just so boring and just like.
Is there a trailer for something?
Yeah. We'll watch the trailer.
Yeah, we'll watch the trailer.
What did I say it was called?
We may have to finish on
Made
the trailer.
in Bondi. Yeah, we'll finish on Made in Bondi.
Let me get this up.
Full circle.
Yeah, full circle.
From the West Bank to Bondi.
What was I gonna do? But yeah, I want to go. Some of these topics can't really be We can't really get to the bottom of it quickly. I do think most people are the same. Most societies are the same. You have the rich, you have the top, and then you have the bottom that can't really move.
Yeah.
I think every society is the same in terms of people. What is this? Made in Bondi. Every country, I think, has their Made in Bondi show that just... Let's have a
I
look
get
at
what
this.
you mean by the whole capitalism lie thing, where there's this idea if you work hard enough and save up and do everything right, you're gonna and the sad truth is, no, you have to lie, kill, cheat, steal.
Yeah.
It's a savage world. There is no fair way up in capitalism.
And you have to also be of the 0.1%.
And you have to be a bit of a psychopath. You can't really have many friends or like a connection to your family. Like you have to be a bit emotionless.
But the average
you have to
person,
be a capitalist.
yeah, the average person is never getting that Ferrari.
Yeah.
Know that. If you're in McDonald's or if you're cleaning toilets, you're probably not going to get that Ferrari that you're dreaming of.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that's the truth. Everyone has this dangling Ferrari carrot where it's like, we live in capitalism, we're fine, we're different than everyone else.
Bitcoin, bro.
I know.
Going
Just
up.
same thing with the car system, maybe in a few lifetimes. I think there's not much of a difference.
If you buy Bitcoin, your kid might be rich.
Okay, let's have a look. What's this?
The trailer?
This is the trailer. Okay, let's have a look.
So you hardly even see fancy cars in Bondi.
I don't know any of these areas. It's like it's a different place. Okay.
This is them. That was the yacht.
Ex-girlfriend, I cheated on her. It does hurt to see him.
Yeah, their accents are hilarious.
Yeah, I lived in London for 2 years. I lived in Spain.
What, you think he's going to be loyal? I don't have any reason not to trust him.
I think he's a snake.
They're not there, standing there making out.
And there's like some
all have
50-year-old
British
guy.
accents.
Yeah, it's
People sound British.
no one's even Australian in it.
Because I have another ex-girlfriend. If you want to ask her for her phone number as well.
Lawson, shut up!
Can't get over the accent thing. That's so funny. That's crazy. That's something I've never really come across. The actual transatlantic accent. This is insane. Okay.
I don't know why you're doing this.
Let's have some fun.
I usually get what I want.
I'm going to feel pretty bad when it all comes out.
These are real people and real
Let's
emotions.
just quickly throw that out there. They all look like supermodels. I think. Oh, obviously, pulls on her face with a double chin.
She's gonna be crying watching
She's
this.
actually going to be crying watching this.
But this is the thumbnail.
What does anyone else give a f-
Oh,
Welcome to Bondi. Mate,
welcome to Bondi.
this August on
Okay. Made in Bondi.
What are your initial thoughts?
What are my initial thoughts?
It's very boring.
It looks pretty exciting. It looks like a
I
fun
don't know
life.
if it's just like living in East Sydney
Yeah.
or close enough to East Sydney that it's like it just feels like everyone from there.
Okay, so you've come across this person.
Yeah, well, it's
Before.
almost like my job.
Oh, you're seeing these
see
people
these
all the
people
time.
every
Yeah, you
single
see their
day, all
ins and
day
outs.
long.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because I haven't
And
really
they
met
try
these
to be
people.
very interesting.
Yeah,
It's like most people in Sydney are boring.
yeah, of course.
I mean, Australia is a pretty boring place in
Yeah.
general.
it's pretty isolated.
It's very isolated.
Yeah, the culture's very
The most
chilled.
exciting thing is when people talk about going elsewhere.
Yeah, literally.
That is the exciting part of Australia, is that you are allowed to leave.
You're chilled.
Besides the beach.
Yeah,
Go in, there's like good restaurants, great food.
it's a great
beach.
life. It's a
Good
great life. But I think there's not much.
boring.
There's no adversity. There's no kind of drama.
Yeah.
Like, I think you'd probably get that if you're in a neighborhood that is more violent.
Yeah, in more Western Sydney, there'd be more
You'd probably have some
drama.
characters. Yeah.
And, huge
It's like, dude, I
characters.
saw this thing happen.
Huge
like,
personas, the
yeah.
craziest
of
stories.
course. Spanion's a great example.
Yeah.
That's someone who's an interesting person, who's lived
Yeah.
an interesting life. these people,
You know their life.
yeah, it's just been great.
Private boarding schools.
Yeah.
Europe every year.
Yeah.
Beach. A bit of a job thing.
Yeah.
Venture thing.
You get your tattoos.
A few tats.
That's pretty crazy. You get a silly moustache.
Yeah.
That's like a pretty big move. I got a silly moustache.
Some piercings.
Yeah, maybe some piercings. But you're living a pretty good life. I don't know. Made in Bondi. Do they have comments on this? No comments. 19 likes. I think that says a lot on a video with 10,000 views.
That is
from
crazy.
like a major network.
With like millions of followers.
No,
Oh,
not
no.
millions. But still.
Go back. What was that other one?
Yeah, let's see. There's actually have. Let's start watching.
Byron Bays was so good because they made fun of themselves.
Okay.
And even in this, you see them talking, and you can see that they know that they're not interesting.
Interesting.
Like,
Yeah, that makes
you're
sense.
not really. It's really forced and boring.
Yeah. I saw a lot of acting, fake tears.
A lot of fake tears. It's so scripted. It's like
Yeah.
out of this world. So you can like make it seem a bit more realistic.
Yeah.
Like you don't need the ex-girlfriend overlooking them making out with a city view sunset.
True. Yeah. Doesn't
So
have
like
to happen
perfect
like that.
leveling on the harbour view. It's like relax a little bit.
How could you shake it up?
You'd want to get people who more have had a crazy life.
Maybe one of the guys goes to a Palestine rally and gets like literally kicked from his family. Yeah. He's literally kicked out of the wheel. That could be good.
That would be good.
He just disappears. He was last seen with two guys with like tennis rackets. Came into a lift. He was going to say, I know firsthand that Israel's in the wrong, but there were two guys with tennis rackets. They pulled up on camera and escorted him.
He's gone overseas on a trip on the yacht.
I think he's still in the south of
Portugal,
France.
I believe, brother.
Yeah, Portugal,
That's
I've heard it
rhetorical.
was.
Yes, brother. You know, if there's a job, I'm always there to do it.
Jai is still in Portugal. He's enjoying the Faro area. I heard. Last heard. That could be a good way to
That
mix
would
it
be
up.
good. They go to a protest.
That could be nice. Yeah, they go to a
Watch
protest.
a few TikToks. Get really into it.
One of them thinks they're like part indigenous. They go to like the indigenous community in like Redfern or something like that. That could be a fun one.
They go all the way Northern Territory.
Yeah, they go to the Northern Territory.
Become a dot painter.
Yeah. Yeah, that could be an interesting one. Or they, how else could we shake this show up? If we're writers for Made in Bondi, how about one of them
A murder.
lies about getting involved in that Bondi stabbing, and then they get caught out. They actually weren't there.
The cop. No.
Yeah,
I was the.
they were there. It's like, but you weren't.
What was that guy? He held up the
held up the
bollard.
chair. It's
Bollard,
like, dude, I
man.
was,
I was the bollard, man.
yeah, I was the dude with the chair. Then it finds out he was lying. That could be good.
That could be a good angle.
Make it kind of real.
Maybe that happening in the show.
That could happen. They just
Oh,
literally
tears.
the producers set free like a lone knifeman into one of their mansions. And they have to like escape him. That could be a good one. Or at icebergs. They're at icebergs, and we'd let like a guy with a knife into icebergs, and they just see what they do. He's not going to kill anyone. It's the producers. He's
Yeah.
an actor, but just to shake them up a little bit.
Yeah.
Just to literally shake them up.
Not much can happen. It's too good. Look at it. What can go wrong?
What can literally
What can
go wrong?
Go wrong here.
It is just.
Extraordinary lives. Real people. Explosive drama.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's very weird.
Just doesn't give me Bondi vibes. I feel like none of them are from Bondi. They're all like actors from
They're probably just from like Point Piper.
Bellevue Hill.
Yeah, Bellevue Hill. That's the truth, and it's saying
I'm pretty,
like,
that's
I think one of those areas.
That's what's just off the cliff there? That's Vaucluse.
Right. But they are better than us. That's how I want to finish this. They are better than us, and hopefully
In the next
in a few
life.
lifetimes, we'll be there.
If
We'll be on Made in Bondi.
Stay to podcasting.
Yeah, if you stick to podcasting, don't
Dude.
try to do anything crazy. Don't try to do a reality TV show about your life.
Yeah.
Maybe in a few lifetimes, we'll be on Made in
No,
Bondi.
it could be interesting.
Yeah, but still,
Drink water.
good night, everyone. Peace.
Thank